Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, it's The Brink of Sanity, episode 185. How you doing, Mark?
I'm tired. We just recorded a Nick show, but we're going to record this show tonight. Also, we are going back to back for tonight at least.
Yeah, because we figured we've been neglecting this show, and we wanted to build up a lot of momentum before we kill it again.
I have a story that I forgot to tell on our last show, or maybe the show before. It happened maybe a month or so, a month and a half ago.
Okay.
I thought it'd be worth sharing on the show.
Okay, sounds good.
Going to start off by saying everyone was totally okay following the story. So it was a Saturday morning, and Saturday morning, usually one of us will take Zach, or both of us will take Zach out to the park. And this morning, Liz let me go to the gym, and she took Zach to the playground. I forget what I was actually doing in the morning. It might have been the gym. I don't remember exactly. But she took him to the playground. She gets back later with him and shares with me the story. Apparently, Zach is running around playing, and some guy comes up to him, picks him up, and starts kissing him. My son's 2 years old, mind you. The crazy guy, he does it in I guess, such a fast motion that, my wife can't even stop him. Then he puts him down, walks up to some other guy who's sitting on a bench and just starts screaming at the guy until the guy leaves. And then the crazy man who had just picked up my son and kissed him leaves the park.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of scary. I mean, frightening, actually. Someone picks up your 2-year-old son and starts kissing him.
Yeah, because that could have just as easily been, knife stabs.
Or it could just been, a pedophile comes to the park and starts kissing your son.
Yeah, I don't think I like that.
So, my wife comes back. She's like, I don't know what to do. Should we call the police? Would you call the police in this situation?
I don't think I would. I mean, what are you really gonna do about it?
So Jay just added to remind everyone doesn't have kids. Yeah, you call the police. Some strange man comes to the playground where your kid plays and picks your son up and starts kissing him. You call the police.
Okay.
100%, you call the police. This guy's just committed. The police need to find the guy and make sure he doesn't come to the playground and steal a kid or do worse things. No normal person comes up and starts besides the fact he started a fight with someone else there, but no normal person picks up a 2-year-old and starts kissing them out of the blue. So my wife calls the police and...
Oh, wait, so this wasn't a person with other people there. This was a random...
Yeah. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. It wasn't some other parent did this or something like that, or someone that should the playgrounds in New York City. If you don't know already, the rules in New York City are if you're not with a kid, you're not supposed to be in the playground. You're actually barred. Jay doesn't have a kid, unless you're coming to the park, say with my kid or your friend's kid, you're not allowed to actually be there.
Oh, okay. Well,
people come to the park and just sit on a bench and eat lunch all the time. It's just the playgrounds, actually, not the Central Park or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy was a random, strange-looking man. Liz said looking borderline homeless/crazy, who came up to our son and started kissing him.
Oh, yeah, that's disturbing.
Now, would you call the police?
Yeah, I think I might. Yeah.
Okay, so call the police.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, my wife tells me the story. It's should I call the police? I'm like, we should call the police because this guy, who knows, is he going to come back to this playground or go to a different playground? Police should be looking out for this guy because he's definitely not someone you want to leave on the loose. So call the police. Police come to our apartment. She just wanted to report over the phone, but they said anytime you report something, we have to send the officers to your apartment. So police get there. First thing they tell us is that the mistake we made was that you should have called the police immediately at the scene and not wait till you got home. Because I guess in there for them, it's hard to catch the guy the more time that passes.
Right.
Understandably, at the same time, my wife was I was kind of scared and just wanted to get the hell out of there. But So we start telling the police, the officer, there's 2 guys, what happened, and he starts writing down everything we said. But instead of using a pad of paper, he's writing on his hand.
What?
I'm not like kidding. He's in our apartment with a pen writing down like 68th Street playground
On his hand? Did you
on
like
his hand?
Did you offer him like a dirty napkin or something?
I offered him paper, and he said it's okay.
You're
And
like,
he just kept writing on. This was the weirdest part of the whole story. Was he just was writing this down, everything on his hand, and he's like, okay, and he's like, do you want to file a report? And we're like, well, not if the report's going to be on a different part of your body, but I don't know. He's like, you need to file a report so we can like have a record of this for the future. And then pulls out, when we read a report, he pulls out paper and writes the stuff in the paper. But prior to writing the report, he was writing everything on his hand. I want to know if you ever heard of a police officer writing anything on his hand. Like, is this a way to avoid like he has to do less if he writes it on his hand first?
that is completely insane.
It was literally, it was the most insane. I was like, were you the guy that kissed my son in the park?
Yeah, it's like, what's happening? I'm calling the cops for an insane person, and they send an insane person.
Yeah. I mean, there's not that much more of the story. They finally took we were like, what are they gonna do in the future? And they said we can if you can file a report, we can look out for the person and we have a record of the person in case someone else spots him again.
He's like, don't worry, whatever I write on my hand gets automatically updated to my magical chalkboard.
I just couldn't believe he's like sitting in our apartment. I'm like, can I just ask this police officer to leave? I can't even believe he's actually, the only time I've seen someone do something this absurd was on The Simpsons when they were kidding.
Right. It's like, can you send like a better police officer here?
I mean, sir, are you writing it on your hand because you don't care about what I'm saying? Like in his mind, he was like, let's see, not really, kind of a waste of our time. I'll use my hand. If it's a huge waste of my time, I'll write it on my ass.
It's so weird.
Oh my God, fine. I'll break out paper and keep a real record of this. You know, if I just left it in my hand, we know about it until I wash my hands later. And I might not wash my hands all day. I'll wait till tomorrow to wash my hands.
Although I kind of got to go to the bathroom now. Oh, this could get awkward.
Can I use your bathroom? But sir, don't you want to keep a record of No, don't worry. I won't wash my hands after. Oh, that's both helpful and not helpful. Great. So that was really weird.
Yeah, that's I haven't heard of anything like that ever.
Yeah, that I mean the thing in the park, and we've been back to that playground. We go there all the time. We've been back, and there hasn't been anything else since. Thankfully, but I guess
the guy did a good job.
The guy that wrote it on his hand, maybe they caught the guy.
Yeah, or it's a crazy guy and he forgot that he was supposed to be molesting boys in the park.
I don't know. My wife actually just another. She she was going to see a friend. Walking with another friend somewhere in the Upper East Side, and they saw a naked woman screaming, a big fat naked woman screaming on the street. Again, they were hit with the should we call 911? They decided to call 911. They report the naked screaming woman on the street, and the response from 911 was, "Oh, she's moved." And apparently, they got a number of calls that day about the naked screaming woman. They were trying to track her down.
Lovely. I think.
So what's new with you, Jay?
Not much is really new. It's been a really slow week. I'm going to Comic-Con this weekend. My first Comic-Con.
Where is Comic-Con? I mean, is it in the city?
Yeah, it's in the Javits Center in the west side of New York City.
Could you bring a microphone and like interview people for our show?
You know what? We should really look into it. I feel like it's really everyone has that capability except us.
Any show with any resources at all will be able to interview people at Comic-Con except for us.
Yeah, we should really look into how to have remote access. It would be fun to just do a word on the street episode, do a whole podcast on the street.
We should look into that. Can we interview you? For what? Break a Sandy podcast. Okay, bye. Okay, I haven't really heard of your site. Neither has anyone else.
We'd have to say it's new, not that it's been around 5.5 years.
You don't want to answer that question because it's secret? Don't worry, revealing on our show is still a secret.
Exactly.
That'd be pretty cool. Hey, have you noticed that the world has lost its goddamn mind recently?
Everything is insane. There's not like any normal news stories anymore. They're all just goddamn crazy.
So, just some things that have happened recently. We had that shooting in Washington D.C., where the guy went to the what's it called, the Navy Yard, and shot like 12 people. They found out later on that he had heard voices from his microwave and reported that to the police. And the police said, "Oh, your microwave wasn't really talking to you, and you can keep your gun." I don't understand it. You tell the police, "Hey, my microwave had a conversation with me." They take your gun. How do you not take someone's gun? Like shouldn't that be like the process of losing your gun? If you say something so goddamn insane, the police can take your gun from you.
Especially since he had 2 gun-related incidents before that. You know how messed up our system was? He didn't get a background check, but if he did, he would have passed.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say back when they said he had 2 gun-related incidents? He had fired a gun at an automobile, shooting up the tires. That's not gun-related incident. That's reason you should be in prison.
Yeah, and then he shot a gun into his ceiling and it went into his neighbor's apartment. And apparently neither of those are a serious enough gun incident to fail a background check.
I get some of the NRA's point that people have a right, law-abiding citizens have a right to have a gun. I mean, I get that people want guns, people like guns. That's great. I'm just in favor of, say, getting rid of the guns from the people who are fucking insane.
Yeah, I think if you're shooting it into your ceiling, endangering everyone in your building, you should probably not have that gun anymore.
It should be a one-strike system. You do something insane with a gun, you lose that gun. Or you talk once about the microwave talking to you, you lose your gun. He had actually came out that he had told his employer that he thought he was having mental issues and he thought he needed to be put away. And his employer, who was a government contractor, said, "Great." And that was it.
And since he wasn't clinically diagnosed, that would also not disqualify him during a background check.
Right. They should have, I mean, it's fine if you want to have a gun and you're a law-abiding citizen and you want to keep your gun around so your child finds it and shoots himself. That's wonderful. But
or shows his friend and shoots his friend in the
shoots his friend, yeah. Like they're killing little kids. Great. I mean, in your backyard, whatever. But crazy people are going to take the gun into like public forums, start shooting. We want to stop them. And it shouldn't be, hey, I need to be declared by a court that I'm clinically like crazy. It's if people were told some event what you did, and 4 out of 5 people would say you're crazy, any 4 out of 5 people on the street, you pick. The entire test should be they stop 5 people on the street and say, "Hey, this guy has a gun license," and said the microwave talked to him. Would you let him keep his gun? If 4 of those 5 people say no, you should lose your gun license.
That's democracy at its finest.
That would be fine. I mean, either way, even if he lost his gun license, he can go to a gun trade show or buy one online without any problems because we don't have real background checks or anything in our country.
Right, you just go to eBay or something.
Yeah, so we're all reeling from like how insane that story is. That's a pretty insane story, right? And then like a week later, some woman's driving in her car, bashes her car into the White House gates, and then drives up towards the Capitol, trying to like bash into the Capitol, and the police have a shootout and kill her. And her 2-year-old daughter was in the backseat, or 1-year-old daughter was in the backseat.
Yeah, I think they exaggerated the fact that she was ramming fences and stuff.
They said she rammed one fence, the White House fence, which is enough to get shot, basically.
That's the official story, but I heard...
I don't want truth. Or what happened? She slowed down too slow in front of the White House. She was going 20 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. Shoot her.
No, I heard she was backing away from one of those checkpoints, and she made a 3-point turn, and she did hit a fence, but they made it sound like she was trying to like bash her way into the White House. I don't think that actually happened. Okay.
She was doing something that make them pretty fearful outside the White House.
Right, but couldn't they shoot her tires and not her face?
I think they thought she was dangerous. I don't know. They thought she might have like a bomb in her car. She did basically just run from the police outside the White House.
Okay, so you're saying that
having rammed her car, she backed her car into a fence, or in front or forward, or moved her car into a fence at the White House, at our Capitol. Then when the police tried to stop her, she drove off. So they made them think maybe there's terrorism involved here, and maybe we should be worried. And they never saw the kid.
Couldn't they have like tried to shoot the tire first, or you're just pro like shooting them in the face right away, just going right for that?
I've been hearing a lot of things lately, and I'm pro. Like you tell me your microwave is telling you to kill people, just shoot you in the face. I'm kind of fine with it, actually.
Okay.
I don't know. You think they overreacted in this situation?
Yeah.
She was speeding down towards the Capitol, also the Capitol building.
No, she was speeding away from the people shooting bullets at her.
I think they tried to stop her. I don't know.
Yeah, they said stop, and she didn't stop. But instead of shooting her tires, they just went right for the face.
You didn't slow down fast enough, woman. We shoot the next. I think with all the stuff that's going on with internationally, I think I could see them being worried about terrorism. I don't think the police did anything wrong in this situation, but I see your argument for say shooting the tires first.
Okay.
Then the next day, I turn on I want to read the art story about what the woman's motivation was, and I see some guy set himself on fire outside in Washington D.C.
Yeah, the ink wasn't even dry on that story, and some guy lights himself on fire.
Of course, why not light yourself on fire? And the best part about all these stories, and this has gone back a while now, going back to, and I'm not even getting to the bikers. I want to talk about the bikers in a second in New York City, but between the Colorado movie shooting, the shooting in the elementary school out in Connecticut, the woman driving, I don't know what the hell the woman's doing, guy setting himself on fire, the shooting in the D.C. in the Navy Yard. You know what doesn't ever come out of these stories anymore? Mm-hmm. There used to be like, the guy did it for this reason. We just never find out reasons. The guy shot up in elementary school, no particular reason.
Yeah, nobody's even leaving a kind note behind just to...
It's been a year and a half since the guy shot up the Colorado movie theater. There was not like, I hated Batman. There was nothing.
That voice he was using in that suit just drove me up the wall.
Yeah, I didn't like, I thought the Joker, they should have brought him back for the third film, so I'm going to shoot everyone up.
I already knew that Ben Affleck was going to end up being Batman.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing, even like something to say like, hey, like the crazy people are shooting up all the Batman movies, and they said they're saying that's why they're doing it, so I'm not going to go see any Batman movies, so I'll avoid a shooting. Now it's like, avoid movies, or sending your kid to school, or like being out in public, and you won't get shot. There was a thing about, apparently there's been like 250, like, if you said a mass shooting is more than 3 people getting shot, there have been over 250 mass shootings in the U.S. This year.
Well, because they have the right to.
Yeah, but like, can't they start taking guns away from the, like, all these people basically amount to being crazy. There was a guy also in the Riverside Park here in Manhattan. He was like a homeless guy and just started stabbing people.
So,
and they
I know that's not funny,
him,
but...
And the guy obviously was mentally insane.
Yeah.
But like the mentally insane, they're allowed to like roam the streets. Hey, you're crazy. Here's your gun. Go roam the street. Oh, well, maybe we won't give you a gun, but you're still allowed to roam the street.
I think David Cross put it best about living in New York City. He's always torn between staring at the hottest person he's ever seen and the craziest person he's ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty much
That pretty much sums up New York.
Yeah. But like, it just seems like everyone's like the mentally like, we need something in our country to say like, A, we should give some medical care to people who are actually crazy. That'd be very helpful. And B, if 4 to 5 people in the street say, you sound kind of crazy, we should get rid of your gun.
I think
and
those
maybe
are
not allow you
reasonable.
to have a knife either.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
And then top it off, I get to work the other day. You know what I hear? Last week, and I hear a motorcycle gang surrounded a random SUV on the FDR highway, and then beat the crap out, pulled out the driver, a father with his wife and young child, and beat the crap out of the guy. They chased him down and beat the crap out of him.
Did you hear that 4 of them were off-duty cops?
I missed this part of the story. I'm glad we're talking about it. You gave me an update. Here's the story. People don't know what happened. A biker gang, there was a group of like something like 40 motorcycles who had wanted to come to have like a rally in Manhattan, and they were not given a permit to have this rally. But anyhow, driving up the FDR, one of the bikes stops in front of an SUV. They're all slowing down, and one of the bikes stops in front of this SUV, but stops very abruptly, like forcing the SUV to kind of bump it. And apparently, it's a common practice they do where they kind of get behind a car, an expensive car, force the car to hit them, and then try to like extort money from the driver. They did this. The guy gets off his bike, and the bikers start like surrounding the car, and I guess they said they were sleeping. Basically the guy feared for his life, so he basically sped off, running over one of the motorcycle drivers. The motorcycle drivers chased him down into Manhattan, pulled him out of his car, and beat the crap out of him in front of his wife and a kid, and put him in the hospital. That's the story, right?
Right, before seeing if their friend was okay.
Yes, and one of their friends videotaped most of the incident and put it on YouTube because she's the dumbest friend you could ever have.
How come all these like crazy stories always end up on YouTube? It's amazing.
Oh my God! Hey, should we still be friends with the retard with the camera? Yeah, he can follow us around and
just make sure we document all the incriminating evidence.
Oh my God! I mean, like you couldn't even like in a movie. If you said their friend recorded it and that's how they got caught, you would say, well, that's not believable because no one in reality would actually record that. And if they did record it, wouldn't post it on YouTube. They'd probably destroy the footage.
Especially if there were off-duty cops involved.
I didn't know there were off-duty cops. I hope the off-duty cops weren't part of the people that actually ran down the guy and like beat the crap out of him.
Well, hate to burst your bubble, but...
They were?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I think a solution to this problem is.
Okay.
First, there was a guy that was run over and he's paralyzed, might be paralyzed.
Yeah, but he's a shithead, so...
So my first solution is pull the plug on him and throw him out the goddamn fucking window. He deserves what happened to him.
Yeah.
Second, I take the other bikers, the ones that chase this guy down, and have a public execution at Times Square. I do it on we can sell tickets. We can make it a big festival, and then we beat the crap out of these guys, or have basically dropped the motorcycles on them and until they fucking die. That's
wow,
what
so you were all for shooting that girl in the face, but you're really against the beating.
They chased down a dad with his wife and kid and pulled him out of the car and beat the crap. They picked this random driver. It is insane to me. These guys should be in prison for the rest of their lives. You can't have people committing basically acts of terrorism on our soil, whether they be citizens or not. This is an act of terrorism.
I was also kind of shocked when I saw the bikers. Were you?
Why?
Because when I think of bikers, I think of like fat white guys with handlebar mustaches, and like most of these bikers were black, and that's not what my first thought when I think of like a biker gang.
You're like, Sons of Anarchy has lied to me.
Yeah.
I just think these guys should go to jail for a long, long time. I think this is absolutely everything they did. They caused this whole incident. You can't chase someone down and like enact your own system of justice on them. And the guy who got run over basically deserved exactly what happened to him, and he shouldn't have been involved. The people should be kicked off the police department. You can't have these people like free citizens, because these are the same guys that are like, hey, you know that guy that was part of the biker incident and we didn't really do much to him? Yeah, he shot up a bank also.
Do you think that anything's actually going to happen to him, or do you think because like they're cops, they're just going to be like, oh, you'll get suspended for a week without pay and don't do that again?
Oh my God! First off, they've already said that the guy in the SUV who ran over the biker, no charges against him, because that would be insane.
Yeah.
And I hope he sues I hope he sues the police department for having these people. I don't know if they have any charge against the police department, but just sues everyone. Because I doubt justice is going to actually be delivered. I think you're right. Yeah, they're not going to do anything to these people. They'd be like, oh yeah, I mean like, they saw their friend was injured, so they're allowed to chase the guy down in the middle of Manhattan and beat the crap out of him. We live in a Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. That's where we live.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fucking insane.
Do people know what Mad Max is anymore?
Oh, who cares?
Or are
we
we just
what our show is?
Or are we just old?
It's a movie starring Mel Gibson before he was racist.
Well, he was probably still racist, but before he had his
when he was actually really cool, that's what it started.
Before he was out of the racism closet.
Yes. I mean, so tell me, what do you think should have happened to these people? Do you disagree with me? Do you disagree with my public execution idea? Because you publicly execute them, less biker gangs are around.
Yeah, I mean, they would probably be less inclined to just, I don't know, randomly attack innocent people.
Do you know that a woman was recently charged with raping toddlers at a preschool at a daycare center.
Oh yeah, that was disturbing story like number 8 this week.
Whole number. I mean, that, like, can we bring her to the Times Square and shoot her also? Just start killing these crazy people, because these people, this is not like, if you believe in religion, God didn't create these people as like hey, God was like, hey, could you get rid of my scraps while you're there? I don't know. There's just no like positive about having these people alive.
Yeah, no, there's no point in people like that.
I'm not saying, by the way, just for lawfully, I'm not actually saying you should actually go and execute these people. No one should actually act on what we're saying.
Well,
I'm
no,
just saying,
I think
metaphorically, I hope terrible things happen to them.
No, I think like
No, actually, not metaphorically. I just hope terrible things happen to these people.
I think law enforcement people should execute them.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to actually incite.
I'm not saying
violence.
I'm not saying like, hey, listeners, go out and murder these people, but it would be nice if they
Here's
got
a better
arrested.
thing. Here's what I'm saying. I hope they all get anal cancer.
Okay.
That sounds like a fitting way for that what should happen to the bikers.
Mm-hmm.
And I will start believing religion again if they all suddenly come down with anal cancer.
And they're all Republicans who repealed Obamacare, so they can't even get health insurance for their anal cancer.
And also, our government just shut itself down. We're losing our goddamn mind. And the government is saying, they are saying we will. The Republicans are very much against Obamacare, which is giving the idea of giving people health insurance, and they are threatening to.
It's just, when you say it like that, it's so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. They keep saying we need to negotiate, at least delay giving people health care for another year, which is all they're asking to do is suspend this thing so people can't get health insurance for another year.
Right. We just want them to be a
40 million
little
people are
sicker.
uninsured. And like they're doing it all costs to prevent. So they're threatening, if these 40 million people are allowed to buy health insurance, then at a discounted rate, the Republicans will bankrupt America. Is the threat they're making?
Right. They're just gonna end the government until nobody can have free healthcare.
I understand if you don't like Obamacare and you think there's some problems with it, you can go through the legislative process and get people elected, have discussions, debate, and try to change certain parts of it. If you want to get defunded, you probably have to win a presidential election or something.
Probably kind of like the way it got passed, getting voted on
twice.
Yeah.
Obama won 2 elections, and his only platform was, "Hey, I'm going to do healthcare. Hey, I did healthcare. I haven't done shit. The economy still blows, but elect me." And they're like, "Okay, sure."
I don't even know where to start with all this stuff. This is a lot of stuff that happened. And
There's so much stuff going on that's so insane. I don't understand the argument the Republicans are making. And so here's the thing. They shut the government down. Government's in shutdown right now. And in about 9 days, they have this thing called a debt ceiling, which is the limit we're allowed to borrow. And if we don't extend the limit, basically, I don't know why there's a limit in the first place, but if we don't extend the limit, we will no longer be able to pay our bills on time, which will go us into the default. And the people who know much more about finance have said basically this will be worse than like Lehman Brothers crashing. It'll be pretty bad for our economy. But it's not like Lehman Brothers screwed some stuff up, and they I'm sure that's the technical term, is screwed some stuff up. This is something we're just self-inflicting to ourselves, self-inflicted wounds.
Right, because I think it basically comes down to the fact that the Republicans hate the fact that Obama won so much. They're willing to destroy the entire country just so that he doesn't get on his record that he passed universal health care.
It's not even universal health care. But the funny thing also is so he has these healthcare exchanges, and people are supposed to start signing up for them. Could start on October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having some issues with the websites being down, and their Republicans are saying, hey, no one's even signing up for these things. The numbers of people signing up are so small. So if people aren't even signing up for it, and people don't want it, and people have it, then what do you even care if it's delayed or defunded? If people obviously aren't interested, then who cares?
Yeah, I mean, so few people are trying to sign up for it that their servers crashed.
Yeah, but even like if so few people are signing up for it, then so few people are even affected by letting it being implemented.
That sounds an awful lot like logic to me. That's dangerous thinking, boy.
Guys, if we allow these poor people to get health care, then we might as well all be dead. I am going to let this atomic bomb go off in the middle of Washington, D.C., unless we make sure poor people cannot get health care.
That's pretty much it.
I don't understand I understand if you don't like whatever parts of Obamacare, and they also never say what parts of Obamacare do you like. Well, I don't like the part where people that have existing conditions are allowed to get health insurance again, or people who are allowed to stay on their parents' insurance until 26. There are a lot. Every time you talk about individual parts of it, people are usually pretty big fans of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like the part of Obamacare that involves women who rape their toddlers at daycare getting mental health care prior to having done this. I know we went through a billion stories there, but how is a woman performing sexual acts on toddlers and infants?
I don't even know how that works, and I don't want to know, but...
On her video on her laptop, they have faces 2 counts of rape after police said they found a video of her on her laptop. This woman, Heather Kuhn...
that she uploaded to YouTube?
Engaged in sexual conduct with an unknown infant.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
And her husband is
Hey, Jay, now that you're 18, I want to tell you something. Oh... Mom and Dad, you're really not my parents. I'm adopted. No, it's much worse actually. When you were an infant, a random woman raped you.
Her husband is a known pedophile too.
She has a husband?
Yeah, you didn't read the whole story
very closely.
Yeah,
she no. I mean, I guess that's what brings them together. You like touching little kids? So do I. This is going to be awesome. Kitty porn together. Every Friday night we look at kitty porn.
Guess where I work.
Maybe we can actually have a child and rape that child. It'll be awesome.
We could have our cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine there are some unlucky breaks in life. Mm-hmm. And a lot of where we are in life determines where we're both, I'm going to guess both of us, we were born to middle class homes. Whatever problem we had going forward, so we had it pretty good in general as far as the world. And you could be born in say Kenya and have it not so good. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine you're born in the U.S., which is kind of winning a lot of the geographic lottery in many ways, mm-hmm. but you're born to to 2 pedophiles. Your parents are like, oh, thanks, Mom and Dad, for giving birth to me, you fucking pedophiles. It couldn't be any worse possible parents to have, really.
No, that's probably just about the worst.
Yeah.
So that was
in 2012, an instructor in Pittsburgh daycare was sentenced to 35 years in prison for sexually assaulting 12 boys over a period of several years.
I don't know.
Do they even do background checks for the people that get these jobs?
It's probably like the gun background check. Where it's well, I mean, I get turned on by little kids, but I haven't actually fired my gun, wink, wink, at a kid, so I pass.
Here's the interview. I see you want to work in daycare. Do you like kids? Oh, yeah, I like kids. Okay, good. Have you spent any time with kids? In my fantasies. Oh, you fantasize about helping kids. That's wonderful.
So can you answer without growling and drooling, please?
Oh, yeah, I can.
All right, you're hired.
So say we have a problem. Tell me about a problem you had in the past and how you dealt with it. Okay, so there was this boy, and he was fast, but I was faster. And I finished before the parents came in the room. You finished what? Oh, I'm not supposed to say that part.
But I uploaded it to YouTube. So is that like a
I mean, how do you have people who are how do we allow these people to be out in public?
How do they
people that like smoke marijuana go to jail and I'm a pedophile and I have a pedophile for a wife. And we're going to rape toddlers in daycare. Cool. Have fun. Pay your taxes. See you later.
I don't know how they blend in with society that long, being that crazy.
Oh, hey, yo, the dude with the erection with the baby, we should get him out of here. That woman licking the toddler, get rid of her. Officer, you writing everything down on your hand? Yep, got it all in my hand. I'll take care of this.
I still can't believe the guy wrote the information down on his hand.
I thought we were on like a hidden camera show. It was so absurd. And I mean, I didn't expect that much to come of this. I just wanted to report to the police so they like just knew to be aware of it. In the neighborhood. Not that they're even patrolling the playgrounds. Why would they patrol the playgrounds when there's motorcycle gangs to ride with? But I don't know. I just like, he started doing that. I was like, okay, this is, I hope he leaves soon.
Yeah, like I've clearly wasted my time.
We had like plans in a little while. We were like, please let him just be done with this so we can get on to our next plans. we you know what, sir, it's wonderful you writing everything on your hand. We're just gonna, our son has to nap. Could you just leave? Did
you write a negative Yelp review on this officer?
NYD police officer, Yelp, 1 star. Send a man over to
investigate pedophile.
Investigate pedophile. Wrote entire pedophile thing on his hand.
Do not recommend.
Do not recommend. Hopefully they'll catch the guy before the ink, before the guy police officer washes his hands.
2 stars. Did not shoot me in the face. 2 stars.
1 star. Daycare center. Good prices. Don't like the anal fissures on my toddler.
Yeah. Price is reasonable, but did rape my kid. 1 star.
On a positive note, I'm gonna put 2 stars. I was 20 minutes late and they didn't charge me extra. Of course, I'll be charged extra by the psychiatrist because my son will never forget this.
Did I mention the raped my kid?
Holy, I mean, I don't like, as a parent, like I have a 2-year-old son. I can't even imagine how you even get over that.
I don't think you do.
I just don't know what you like. I absolutely, I love my son to death. I don't know what, like anyone did anything to him. And then like, I have the rest of my life to go to my wife. Hey, remember how I said it'd be cheaper to do a daycare instead of having a nanny? So you're going to forgive me for that?
Yeah, wouldn't that be like the end of every argument? I said clean up the dishes. Well, you're the one who suggested daycare. Game, set, match.
Or a better way to say, hey, you know, we could we could get a used car, but maybe we should get a new car because maybe saving money this time, if we have to save money, it'll result in our son getting raped. Oh my God.
This has been a happy episode.
There's so much insane. How is our government shut down? There's no hope. They're just not going to negotiate reopening the government until the debt ceiling thing comes in 9 days. They're going to wait till the last minute and then like flip a coin whether the world will, the economy will be sunk or not.
Well, they'll wait till the last minute and then they'll bail out all the rich people.
The Republicans are like getting on up in Congress and sorry, I mean, I guess I'm pretty liberal and Jay's probably pretty liberal too, but I'm not even trying to be like partisan here. The Republicans are getting up now in like Congress and complaining about the national parks being closed. And they're like, yeah, how could the Washington Monument be closed? Well, you closed it. You can't complain about closing it being closed when you closed it. The Vietnam Memorial is closed. Well, you know, remember yesterday when you closed it? You can't complain about it after you closed it.
Well, they're also complaining about like, oh, this is so unfair to the kids. I'm like, okay, but their mom dying of cancer because she has no health care is fine.
One House member said, I just paraphrasing, I don't have the quote, but he said something like, I don't understand. There are national park workers and there's a national park. Why can't the national parkers be there and just open it up? And I don't understand why not. And they were like, what don't you understand about not paying anyone anymore?
I don't understand. Why can't everyone just work for free?
What do you understand the whole idea of work?
Well, obviously they don't.
But the Congress they get their salaries.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, they're getting all their money.
So here's my proposal. Every time Congress does not pass a budget, we pick a name out of a hat, and that member of Congress gets executed. Now, it's not. I know that sounds awfully extreme, but the budget would never shut down.
Yeah, there would never be any executions.
You would never see an execution because they'd be like, hey, we were about an hour away, and I think Billy's gonna die, literally. So you might want to pass something.
Either that, or they would all be dead.
They'd all be dead. I don't care if we execute 30 people this week. Fuck it. I want Obamacare funded.
Yeah, the Republicans would be like, well, as long as some Democrats die in the...
It does sound like if you could see the situation being like one side saying, hey, I am going to not pass the budget or let the debt ceiling go if we invade Syria. Let's say that they were like, hey, I'm so against war, then I think such terrible things will come from war that I'm willing to have this protest, which probably wouldn't be the right way to protest war. But you'd be like, oh, I get it. He's really worried about people. Maybe he doesn't think this is the right war.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he's really against people getting health care. He's really worried people will get health care, get health insurance, and actually be able to use the insurance and get treatment for when they get sick.
See, I'm pro poor people dying. That was my platform when I ran for office. And if this passes, not as many poor people will die.
Well, I've kind of noticed that we have a lot of high rate of unemployment, and many of the unemployed people don't have health insurance. So if those people die, we'll have lower unemployment. And more funeral home jobs, win, double win.
Yeah, it stimulates the economy and kills unemployment. I don't see what the problem here is.
Could you imagine saying like, hey, in the job numbers they report, they're like, hey, unemployment's down to 5%. Wow, how'd you do it? Murdered all the unemployed people. Mass execution. You mean the government went out and just killed all these people? No, they just put them around a bunch of crazy people with guns who said the microwave told them to shoot these people.
And then we made it impossible for them to get healthy.
Yeah. And we would have arrested the people who committed these crimes, but we wrote their names of the killers on our hands and took a shower afterwards, and just now we don't have any evidence.
You think that's how Congress passes their bills now?
They write everything on their hand. Yeah. Why are you against Obamacare? Damn it, my hands are sweaty. I don't know anymore. What other crazy shit? This is pretty much, I think we've talked about, a lot of other crazy shit's probably happened also.
I mean, this is all the stuff that happened without even mentioning, apparently Miley Cyrus was the craziest thing that ever happened on the history of the planet, because it was on every talk show and channel.
Boy, what happened to her now?
They're still talking about her stupid dance. Nothing else happened. She hosted Saturday Night Live, and it was a terrible episode. Not because
Billy Ray Cyrus for Father of the Year.
Yeah.
I don't understand the hoopla about her. Who cares? The other thing is because they thought she was she was Hannah Montana, right? So she thought she was this prim and proper girl, or this girl next door, and she became hey, if you force me to be acting in the movie, basically entertainment from the age of 5, I'm going to be a little bit crazy.
Right.
She's not even that crazy. She's probably doing what any of us would do, is act out a little bit.
Well, she's 20 and she has $500 million.
Yeah, you're probably going to act out a little bit.
I would act insane now if I had $100 million. So
Jay's $100.
Yeah, if I had $100, I'd go nuts. During Comic-Con, they're doing autograph signings. And
okay.
Dave Duchovny is going to be there. Guess
why?
Well, because he was X-Files. That's sci-fi.
Oh, that's sci-fi. Okay.
Guess how much it is to take a picture with him. It's not free.
How much is it?
$90.
Wow.
Guess who's not going to get his picture taken with him?
What if it was $9? Would you get your picture taken with him?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I'd pay to get my picture taken with any celebrity, really.
I mean, I don't think I would pay much.
Who would you
more
pay
than that.
$90 to take a picture with? What
Nobody.
celebrity?
Nobody.
Okay, 50.
I don't think anybody. I think 20 would be my cutoff.
And who would it be? Who's your max? Like, this is the one celebrity you need to take a picture with.
I think it would be awesome to have a picture with Conan O'Brien.
I would have to say Tupac, but this year.
So basically, you just want to sell your picture for like $1 million.
I want to like a paper with today's like information on it. I want same thing. I had like a picture. I have also like another like picture that says Bin Laden killed, like just like something like just goddamn proof that this dude's still alive. There's also just this is not a very minor story, but Obama commented. It's this every year around football time they have a little bit of uproar about the Redskins. Washington Redskins, the football team, the name, basically, they found the name offensive. What do you think about that whole? And Obama commented on it, and people gave him a little crap for commenting on it. What do you think about the? And I think the Redskins also replied. Their lawyer said, "Hey, what about the Chicago Blackhawks in hockey? Go bother them."
I think they made a national holiday for the guy who murdered all the Indians, but then having a sports team with their name is offensive. I just think it's kind of weird.
I think when you basically almost wipe out an entire race of human beings, you can't make fun of them later with a name. You can't use their name anymore. The few people that are remaining get to keep their names. You have to be like at least like treated properly.
Wait, now you want to treat them like human beings?
I mean, it has to start at some point.
No, I agree.
They're allowed to have gambling, and I mean, the whole Columbus thing. I joke with my wife that like my son's like the only kid in first grade is going to write his paper on Columbus, being like, Columbus, genocidal maniac or explorer? You decide.
I had a history teacher that made us read a book called like The Real Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck. Because he was one of the most evil men ever to live.
I should read that book.
It's unbelievable, the stuff that guy did.
I know basically the basics I know about him. They were here for slave trading and stealing gold, and they killed a lot of Indians, basically.
He did a lot more than killed them, yeah.
I don't know. What else did he do?
They raped their women, cut off their hands, and then like set them free in the woods, and like a whole bunch of stuff. When he found out they were allergic to like smallpox, he like infected all the blankets and then gave them the blankets, and like just
Did Columbus do all that?
he did a lot of it.
So for those who don't know, Jay actually shows up to work on Columbus Day. And they're like, Jay, the day's off. I fucking will work today. I'm not honoring that asshole. Fuck you. I'm taking Larry Bird's birthday off. For those of you that don't listen to our Knicks podcast, Jay is madly in love with Larry Bird. Larry Bird, you should fear for your life.
I'm never gonna live that down, am I?
No. We'll talk more on the Knicks show. What other cry? I hate every time it's like, just like Redskins, change your goddamn name of your team. Like, if the Washington Bullets had changed their name to the Wizards, why did the damn Redskins get to keep their name of their team?
Yeah, just don't pick an embarrassing name like the Wizards.
Yeah.
Or the Pelicans.
And all the like, well, like the casual football fan doesn't mind because he's never read a history book.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be like I don't know, like Germany having a soccer team named the Hamburg Kikes. It basically be the equivalent. Basically, we in many ways try to wipe out the Indians. Germany tried to wipe out the Jews. Actually, an equivalent. Actually, kind of an equivalent here.
No, but it honors them.
Yeah. But we honor them by letting them gamble and naming a sports team after them.
Yeah, I figure we're even now.
Totally even. Get the fuck off the rest of our land, dude. What else crazy shit happened this week? Is this the entire show?
I guess there was so much crazy shit. We took up basically the entire show.
How long into are we now?
50 minutes.
Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about?
That was a lot of insanity. I think I had one other story. This guy shot his neighbor because his wife convinced him that the neighbor was telepathically raping her.
And did everyone find out that he actually was telepathically raping her?
Well, he was using microwaves, so it didn't really count as telepathy.
Who's crazier, the woman who says it or the guy who's like, okay, I'll shoot him?
No, he probably didn't even blink either.
Yeah, that mic, yeah. I totally sounded right to me. The microwave raped me the other day too.
She's probably like, Billy Bob, he's telepathic raping me. He's like, all right, gonna go back and shoot him.
That makes two of us.
Make sure dinner's on. So it'll only take a minute. Yeah, so
you know what's crazy also, just the health insurance thing?
Mm-hmm.
So part of the health insurance program is they extend Medicaid to basically right now, if you're extremely poor, you get Medicaid, which is health insurance. But if you're slightly above really poor, you don't get health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they're extending the Medicaid to a greater number of people that are like, instead of just being super, super poor, it's the super poor and the really poor. But states, because of the Supreme Court's decision recently, they have a right to opt out of that part. So about half the states in America opted out of giving their really poor health insurance. They just said that the super poor still get health insurance, but the really poor don't get it. And they happen to be the states with the most uninsured people. In Missouri, where a third of the population does not have insurance, that state said, hey, and the federal government pays for this whole Medicare thing, the whole Medicaid thing, the Medicaid expansion, which is a big part of the extra coverage. They said, I know federal government wants to pay for this, but we're still not in favor of letting our citizens have health insurance. Go fuck yourselves. And what's insane about this, not only that the fact that the Republicans did this, is that the people in Missouri and all these states will still vote for these people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the necessarily the economy in our state. A lot of unemployment. Our bridges kind of suck, but I will stand with my governor when he's against us getting health insurance. If he prevents me from getting health insurance, you've got my vote.
Oh man, I don't even understand people at this point. Michelle Bachmann got reelected, like 6 times?
She said that she believes we're in the end of times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone who actually believes we're in the end of times should get to be involved in making decisions about your laws and your future when she doesn't think there is a future.
She said we're at the end of times, and Obama's proof of it.
Michelle, if you don't raise the debt ceiling in 9 days, the economy might collapse. It's okay. In the 8 days, the world will end. Okay, great, Michelle. I guess we can count on your vote to raise the ceiling.
My last story, where 2 people were found guilty for having sex in a Home Depot. They were inside a display shed. Apparently, that was the best place they could find.
That's kind of funny, though. I mean, that's like, of all stories, that's just, I imagine it's a young couple who are just like assholes.
The girl was 20, the guy was 31.
Okay. I mean, it's just like people being just really stupid. It doesn't really go in the crazy category.
It's kind of crazy to do that in the middle of.
I mean, it's kind of
Depot.
like bold, as in like, wow, I can't believe you would be like that brazen to do that, or that much of an asshole to do that, but not like, hey, you're mentally retarded, or you're mentally like, we should take your gun away. Okay, yeah, here's the test, Jay. If I told you this couple had sex in the Home Depot, would you take the guy's gun license away?
I don't know if you could do it for that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like gun license take away. I mean, if he said, hey, the ceiling fan told me to have sex at the Home Depot, then I'd say, okay, yeah, you're right. That would take his gun away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you have to have, like, I guess, more violent nature. That's just dumb.
Yeah, that's more just stupid. They probably were like, hey, I bet no one will notice that we have sex in here, and by no one, everyone, because it's a really packed store.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think we just spent the entire show talking about crazy shit. So
what did we learn today, Jay?
we learned that the world is ending soon.
We learned that shit just kept getting crazier and crazier in the last month or so. We learned we didn't even talk about the guy, barely talked about the guy lighting himself on fire because, hey, that was barely crazy enough.
That was like the fourth craziest story today. Unbelievable.
Who's like? I mean, we should have a crazy countdown. Who's crazier, the guy who lit himself on fire for no known reason yet, or the girl who raped the infant?
I think that's got to be the crazier one.
Okay.
The guy who lit himself on fire might have been making a statement. Apparently, he saluted did like a military salute right before he did it.
Okay. Girl who rapes the infant, or the guy who shoots up the Navy Yard.
We should have like a crazy playoff bracket.
The Republicans who are fighting tooth and nail to prevent people getting health insurance, or the woman who ran her car into the White House fence.
Republicans.
Okay, we don't need to go with this.
Yeah.
We should end the show.
Okay, so thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com to email us for anything you want. We are at Nick of Sanity on Twitter. That's KNICK of Sanity, no spaces.
We're really serious with the show that we have a Twitter that's unrelated to the show at all.
I had a Twitter that said Brink of Sanity, and then we started the Nick Show, so I tried to make a combo Twitter, and I found out that Brink fans don't care about the Knicks, and Knicks fans don't care about Brink, so I tried to go back to separate Twitters, and one person took the Brink Twitter. So that's fun. And then our website is brinkofsanityshow.com. We do 1001 rants and a few other things on the site. So
We've been going at that for a couple of years. We're on rant number 980. We're really
yeah, we're going backwards from 1000. No, we're in the 970s now, I think.
we should. It would be much better if we weren't going backwards.
Like I originally said.
If you want to write rants for the show, please do.
Yeah, email us. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com.
Yeah, email. If you want to write anything you want to complain about, as long as it does not involve people of a different race, we'd be happy to hear your complaints.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll leave it at that. How about that?
We will be back before they make another Avatar movie.
All right.
Okay.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
All right. If you want to leave us a voicemail, 631-676-1181. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end.